Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We are less than a week away from Motor Expo, and I have got a buttload of stuff to do. I haven't had a chance to get the truck ready like I wanted to, or even go through my camping stuff. I've been so busy with work. But one thing I definitely want to do before I head out is get these boxes mounted to the topper of my truck. Now, I'm going to use the Rhino rack that I had before on the billy bars, but I had to get some things to install it. I'm going to go through those things, some things I had to modify to make it work. This isn't going to be an install video, but I'm just going to show you some of the things I had to change to get that rack on top of the cab. Now this is how I was picturing my boxes and traction boards sitting on the Rhino rack once it was installed on the top of my truck topper. I was pretty sure the boxes weren't going to give me any grief, but the Rhino rack itself and the traction boards, however, they were going to take some figuring out. So to get the Rhino rack mounted onto the topper, I had to order some feet for it. So I went on to the Rhino site and I picked up the RLT 600s. They're supposed to work with the Pioneer platform. Now I brought them home and I looked at them. And here's the mounting plate right there that goes and attaches to the bottom of the platform. Problem is, this little square nut here is a channel nut, but it's too small for the Utilitrack style nut that's on the bottom of the platform. Well, okay, right here I have the foot with the original channel nut, and obviously that's not going to work in the Utilitrack style rod that goes across the bottom of the platform. So the solution, right here, I went to the hardware store and I picked up a little bit larger Utilitrack channel nut here. And then I also replaced the Allen head screw that comes through here, so they mate and they match together. It fit fine through here. I didn't have to modify anything, so I think this is going to work great. And I'm going to go ahead and do that with all four of the feet, and I don't think we'll have any problems getting this rack on top of the cab. But first, before I could start mounting the feet, I needed to measure the distance between the roof rack rails on my topper. That distance is how far apart my rack feet need to be in the Utilitrack channel under the platform. Okay, now let's get those channel nuts replaced. So one thing that I did mention earlier is when I replaced the Allen head bolt, the original one, with my aftermarket ones, I went just a little bit longer so I had the length to catch the updated Utilitrack bolts easier. I didn't want to have to finagle and try to hold things up and try to get it to work. Just a little longer Allen head bolt did the trick. Now knowing the distance between the rails on the truck topper, I measured the Utilitrack on the bottom of the platform and centered up that distance to get all four platform legs the same distance from the edge. This install was going to be a two-person job, so my son Andrew came over to help me set the rack in place on top of the topper. We then used some gaff tape to mark the leg placement on the topper track. These markings are where we will mount the brackets the legs will snap into. The little red levers move pins that will lock the platform in place. Once we marked our leg mounting points, we lifted off the platform, slid the leg mounting brackets into place, and screwed them in using Allen head screws and channel nuts. I got caught up in getting the rack up and into these brackets and forgot to hit record. Locking the platform legs into place went pretty easy, with only having to do a slight adjustment of one leg mount bracket to get the entire platform securely on the roof. I'm pleased with how it looks, and it doesn't sit up too tall to interfere with my ability to park in a downtown St. Paul parking ramp. I also flipped my shovel mounts downward to make it easier to remove and not interfere with getting to the latches of my roof boxes, which I still need to get mounted. So now that I had the rack on the truck, I wanted to put the boxes back up there. But the thing was, the boxes were now running lengthwise with the bed of the truck instead of across. So I was only able to utilize some of the holes that I had pre-drilled when they were on my billy bars. I was able to get enough to make a mount safely, so that was fine. I also still had to figure out a way to get the Max Trax on here. I came up with some ideas and I tried to make some L brackets to get them to hang off the side, but I just never really felt like they were going to be secure enough at highway speed. So I decided to scratch the whole idea, threw the Max Trax in the back of the truck, and off I went to Moore. Now when I was there, I stopped at the Overland Addicts booth and they had the solution for me, and that is these right here. These are the Max Trax mounts for the Rhino platform, and they're a flat mount, and I'm hoping they should fit right between the boxes, nice and secure. Okay, so everything I need to get my boards onto my rack should be in this little box. First off, there's a little box here, and it says all the hardware to mount the mounting plates to the Rhino rack. There's a new set of pins to hold the Max Trax to the mounting plates, and then the mounting plates themselves. These are a hard plastic, so there's no powder coating or steel or anything to rust. They're just a nice hard plastic that should be able to hold up to any weather that comes this way. So one thing that's nice about these mounting plates is on the bottom, they've got a hexagon to hold the nut, which will make it super easy to screw the pin in. Next, I loosely mounted the track nuts to the Max Trax mounting plates. I then slid them into the channel of the Rhino platform. Then using my traction board, I position the mounting plates into place. So one thing to make sure is that you have the point of the plate facing in towards the board, not away from the board. That way you won't be trying to tighten in the space where the slot screws enter. The other thing too is I'm going to go ahead and tighten this one up, and then I will just make the adjustments on this one if they've moved a little bit. It's going to be easier to do that one while I'm on the tailgate, and this is about where I want it anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and tighten these up. After mounting the plate closest to the cab of the track, I used the traction board to fine-tune the placement of the second plate at the back of the topper. I then tightened up the fasteners, and the Max Trax mounts were good to go. Well guys, I hope you're able to follow that one. It was actually shot over a period of weeks and actually months. I started right before I went to Moore Expo, and then I finished up here just recently after I got the Max Trax mounts from Overland Addict. If you have any questions, please leave a comment, and then I'll leave a link below too to the product if you want to check it out yourself. No, I'm not sponsored by anybody. I wasn't paid to say anything about these products. I'm just letting you know what I got and a rough idea of how I put them on the truck. So I appreciate you guys watching. Please give it a subscribe, and a like would help me out too. And until the next one, I'll see you guys down the road. Take it easy.